Beautiful. All right, so we are going to jump into our barbecue and salads. So very first recipe is going to be a cooked mayonnaise. Has anybody made mayonnaise full stop in their Thermomix before? If you have, pop it into the chat box. Otherwise, this will be a first time for you. I'm going to bring up my recipe. Yes, always do. Beautiful. Now, the problem with making mayonnaise at home is that generally a mayonnaise is using a raw egg. And that means that your salmonella risk is really, really high. So there has been cases of people getting really, really bad food poisoning from making their own mayonnaise and that sort of thing. Not necessarily in the Thermomix, but just cooking it at home. And also means it doesn't have much of a shelf life because raw egg really shouldn't be kept any more than like a few hours. So as soon as you go and put that in the fridge overnight or a few days, then you're just increasing that risk of it making you sick. So raw egg mayonnaise is a really tricky one. It's a really controversial one to cook at home. So Thermomix have developed actually, our founder Grace was a big advocate for this recipe. So this needs to be on Cookie Do because people need to know how to make this. So this is a cooked mayonnaise recipe. You can either go into the barbecue cookbook and you'll find it, or just type in cooked mayonnaise and this recipe here will come up. So we're going to kick off into this. I'm going to show you guys how to make mayonnaise. First step is you're going to put a jug on the mixing bowl and you're going to weigh in 300 grams of grapeseed oil. I've already done that into my jug, and then we're going to put that to the side. Now, you don't have to use grapeseed oil if you don't want to. You can use another sort of light flavored oil. You can even do it with olive oil, but the olive oil tends to come through in quite a strong taste. So be mindful of that, and the lighter flavored oil you can use is a little bit better. Yeah, and Chris uses the light olive oil, so that's awesome. All right, so jug's over to the side. Now we're going to put in a teaspoon of sea salt and 30 grams of white vinegar. So I'm going to tip that in. I'm going to put my lid on. And we're going to heat this up. So this is going to heat for 3 minutes to 100 degrees on speed 1. So just really slowly. There's only 30 grams of vinegar and a teaspoon of salt, so hardly anything in that mixing bowl, and it's going to get really, really hot. Then when we put the eggs in, that heat in there already is going to actually cook the eggs. Not cook them so that they're scrambled or anything like that, but enough to set them and above that temperature where they are dangerous. So that makes sense to you. That is what we're going to do. Now, I'm just having a little look here at the chat. Bex made it and it wasn't that great, so you're going to have to try it again. I'll talk about some variations and things as well. Yes, I think definitely, Ash, the raw egg versus the cooked egg mayonnaise definitely has a different taste. So the other thing to keep in mind is if you don't like this particular recipe is add in some flavors. You could add in some paprika, you could add in garlic and make garlic aioli. You can do anything with this. You don't have to stick to the flavors of this. Is just a very plain mayonnaise. So if you're not keen on the flavors or it didn't sort of wow you, go jump in there and have a bit of a play around with them and change them and make it what you really feel like. So don't be afraid to get in there and adjust it. If you have particular spices that you like, add them in, whatever it might be. The one in the skinny, I'm guessing that's skinny mixers. I can't remember if I've made that or not. I know I've seen it. All right. This is just about finished. The Skinny Mixers book is great. Yes, a lot of their recipes are really good. It's a cooked one as well, I believe. What flavor is it, Carissa? Let's see, she might be busy. I think she has quite a few. Okay, cool. No worries at all. All right, we have a few seconds left here. Now, the next step that I need to have ready, whenever you are cooking in your Thermomix, in your TM6, if you want to look ahead and see what's coming next or what ingredients you might need to get ready, the 3 little dots that are up to your next button, up next to your next button, click on those and you get the option here for recipe detail. This takes you back to this homepage while your food is still cooking, and you can see what else is going on. So after this, I'm going to need 2 eggs, and then I'm going to need my oil in a minute. So I'm going to pop my eggs in and give them a mix, and then I'm going to pour my oil in, and this measuring cup is going to emulsify. So you see all that steam coming off there? You might not be able to see it through Zoom. You can see, you can't even barely see the liquid in there. There's only a tiny little bit in there. So I'm going to pop this on. I'm going to follow the recipe. So it says to turn to speed 3 and then follow the next step. Now we're going to add the eggs in through the lid. And then we're going to click next. And it's going to mix those through for about 20 more seconds. This is where it's cooking the egg. And it's spinning really, really fast. And that's why you're not getting that scrambled egg. It's just getting cooked to that right temperature to make that egg safe to consume and safe to keep. And we're done. Now, we're going to leave this measuring cup in. I'll show you what that looks like. Here it is. So just all combined, cooked egg. Now, leave the measuring cup in. This is the really, really important part for mayonnaise. Measuring cup is in. You're going to turn the speed to 6. Meanwhile, follow the next step. Up here on the screen, we're going to really slowly pour the oil onto the top of the mixing bowl. Bring you in closer. Can you guys hear me over that? Yes. So could you see the oil going onto here, and that's now emulsifying. So really, really slowly trickling in while that mayonnaise is getting beat around inside. So when you make mayonnaise traditionally, you generally have a bowl and a whisk, and you have to whisk really, really quickly while trying to really slowly trickle some oil in from a jug. It's really, really hard to do. And if you don't whisk fast enough and if you don't pour slow enough, your mayonnaise won't work. So traditionally, mayonnaise is a really tricky thing to make at home, but the Thermomix takes all the guesswork out of it. And that is literally all that we need to do. Look at that. Drippy mayonnaise. I'm going to pop this into a jar. While I'm doing that, I want to hear in the chat box, what did you think? If you've just seen mayonnaise for the first time, what do you reckon? If you've done it, you're really familiar with it, you might not be quite as surprised. The first time I made mayonnaise in my Thermomix, I made mayonnaise when I was at TAFE. I did my hospitality course when I was younger, and we made mayonnaise by hand, and it was really hard. It was one of the hardest things we did, and half of the classes didn't set properly because we didn't whisk fast enough, and it stuck in my memory as something that I never ever wanted to make at home. And when the first time I did it in my Thermomix, I was just blown away. I was like, this is not going to work. It's not going to work. No, it's all be ruined. I pulled the lid off and I was like, that is just perfect. What? How did I just do that? So really, really, really cool. So if you wanted to add any flavors in, you could add them in now. Or you could have added them in with the egg as well. Totally depends on how you want to do it. But that is your mayonnaise. It is so easy. Now, I'm not going to clean this bowl right out because when you have something like this, you can either spend time scraping the bowl out, or I could just utilize what's in there for my next dish. So every time I make mayonnaise, I just do it right before I make a salad, or I just make a quick salad to go with it. If you are a coleslaw fan, who here thinks that coleslaw belongs at a barbecue? Give me a reaction or pop something in the chat box if you think coleslaw belongs at a barbecue. Yes, that is my end result of my mayonnaise. It's a bit bright under that light, but that is it. Definitely. Okay, I'm getting lots of agreements with that. That's good. So if you wanted to now make a coleslaw, you could just bring in whatever, things you'd usually put in a coleslaw. So your onion and your cabbage and your carrot, depending on what coleslaws look like. Throw everything in on top of this mayonnaise and give it a quick chop. I like to make my salads a little bit differently. I'm not really a fan of the old traditional style of coleslaw, but one of my favorite vegetables is broccoli. And right at the moment, it is still in season. It's a winter vegetable, but it's still quite a lot around in spring. So I'm going to go into the broccoli salad. This is a salad based on broccoli, carrot, and apple, which is a really, really cool mix. And if you haven't made this and you're not a huge fan of broccoli, don't be put off, because you'll be really surprised. It's actually really nice. And you can just absolutely go freehand with these ingredients. You don't have to stick to them. So if I go start here, we're going to add in about 250 grams of broccoli. So I'm going to spread this up sort of into florets and break them out a bit. The smaller the chunks you have here is obviously the smaller it's going to end up. But at the end, and the bigger that you have, the little bit bigger it will get. But you can also control that with the speeder. Now, I'm a little bit short. I'm nearly 50 grams short, and I love raw cauliflower. Again, it's in season, so I'm just going to throw in a bit of raw cauliflower to make up that difference. Then we've got about 100 grams of carrot. Now, for those of you who said at the start that barbecues are a pain, or barbecues make things not easy, this is the sort of salad that you want to do if you're having a barbecue. You can see I haven't done any prep for it. I'm literally just cutting up a few ingredients as I go. And in a few seconds, we're going to have a salad that's dressed and all ready to serve. So take the core out of an apple, throw it in. Red onion, I leave the red onion out because my family don't like it. And then this just calls for 100 grams of natural yogurt. So usually that's where I'd add in the yogurt, but I'm going to leave that out because I've already got mayonnaise in my bowl, and I'm going to let it get dressed with mayonnaise instead of yogurt. You can pop in some lemon juice here. And here's another little tip if you're looking to make it a little bit faster to make your salads and things. If you cut out, I haven't got a great knife for this, but if I cut out the top of my lemon like this, I only need 20 grams, so it's not a lot. I can just squeeze that straight into my bowl, and the juice is coming out, but I'm not getting any seeds. I don't actually have to go and get a juicer out and juice my lemon and dirty something else. And I'm still getting plenty of juice coming out. There we go, just over my 20 grams. Press next, we put in a little pinch of salt, add a pinch of pepper here, whatever you like to flavor your stuff with. You could throw in some herbs, get as creative as you'd like. A bit of pepper as well. Maybe the pepper shake go, I've lost it. There we are. Bit of pepper. And we're going to throw our lid on. And we're going to make salad. 5 seconds this takes. Have a watch. And we're done. Press next. Now, this is where you get to really take control. And especially when you do coleslaw, because it's even a little different with coleslaw because you've got no real hard things in there. If you like a nice chunky salad, leave it there. 5 seconds, leave it as it is. You can see in here, I've got beautiful chunky pieces. You know, sometimes people say, I don't like a Thermomix because a chopped salad's just all so fine. Leave it like this, and then you've got some beautiful big texture in your salad. Or follow the recipe and give it a second chop just for about 2 seconds, and you'll see the consistency really, really change. I'm going to do that just to show you what that looks like and how those those bigger chunks will disappear. Put my lid on just for 2 seconds. And we're done. Now we serve that immediately, and that is our salad. Now you can see that consistency there. All those big pieces are gone, and it's all just a little bit easier to have. Definitely will suit my kids much better. And that is our salad. So broccoli salad dressed with mayo. If that was a coleslaw, that would be a coleslaw done. Plus you'd have a whole batch of fresh mayonnaise. We've been on here for a couple of minutes. So really, really quick and easy, which is absolutely awesome. All right. So I am going to pop this to the side. Over here. Now, let me have a quick back look in the chat. Most of you guys have a Meter Plus. It sounded like a bit earlier on. Now, last week we cooked a whole roast chook with the Meter Plus. Were any of you guys on? Did any of you watch that? Yep, a few of you did. Some of you didn't. The good news is we are, I won't say finishing, but we have started putting together a YouTube channel. It's not public yet, but we will put all of our old recordings on there so that you guys can come back and watch them. So jump on there if you want to see the Meter Plus getting used. Now, I wanted to keep tonight's Zoom a little bit shorter because I don't know about you guys, but I think for a lot of us, we're spending a lot of time on Zoom right now, and I don't think that you want to be on here any longer than you need to be. So I'm going to leave the actual physical cooking side out of it. So we're not going to wait for it. But what I'm going to do is take you in and show you exactly how it works. So, and if you want to like really have a look at the results for yourself, then watch back that one there to really, to see it for yourself. But this is what the Meter Plus is. So it comes in a little box like this. That's all it is. It's a smart connected meat probe. So you pull this out, you insert this into the meat, into the thickest part of the meat, and then you select how you want it cooked. What I'm going to do is take you into the app and show you how this is. Here we go. I can't see the chat while I'm in here, so if there's anything that I need to know, someone come off me and let me know. All right, now you can see in here I cook lots and lots of whole chicken. This is the last things that I've cooked. But let me get out of that and pull my Meter Plus out. It's going to connect up. So what this does is a Bluetooth back to your phone or your iPad or whatever you have it connected with. And if I click up here, I'm going to tap to set up cook. So this is where I didn't want to just hone in on one thing because barbecue can be so varied. Some people like sausages, rissoles, steak. Some people like chicken and kebabs and all sorts of things. I didn't think there was one thing that really nailed barbecue, so I wanted to show you a big range. So in here, you can select anything that you want to cook. Beef, pork, poultry, lamb, fish, whatever you would like. Let's go beef. Now you just select what sort of cut you have. So you've got steak, roast, or other. So even if you're cooking burger and you're not, you're not really confident, or you're just flat out, you don't have time to be checking something and keeping an eye on it, you can even cook your burger patties with the Meter Plus. But you go back, there's all your roasts and then all of your steaks. So let's say you're having a barbecue and you want to be sticking on some T-bone steaks. Now, your husband might be like Leonie's and not be very good with the barbecue. So you don't want to put him in charge. You don't want everything burnt. So let's go T-bone. We're going to give him the Meter Plus instead and let him cook it with this. So we could go select however you would like it cooked. Let's say for this one, let's say medium well. We're going to cook it there. So what this does is it knows that when the internal temperature of the meat reaches between 67 and 66 and 71 degrees, it is when it is hit that medium well stage. So then we say start cook. It's going to give you here a little visual of how to insert the meter probe. So for those of you who have the Meter Plus, there is a line on the meter which you can see. You see when they insert it in. That's that line there, red line right there. So that is a mark on your probe. It needs to be inside the meat. Otherwise, it will not give you the correct read. So really, really important. And then you press start cook. And this is what you can see while it's cooking. So you have an internal temperature of that meat. You've got a target of where it needs to be. And then ambient is the area that like of the heat of of where it is. I'm going to jump out of that one quickly because we're not cooking that right now. Let me jump in here into chicken thigh. I'm going to show you what it looks like. So that is what it looks like to set it all up. And then while it's cooking, it's constantly reading you those 3 temperatures. So the internal, where it needs, and where it's sitting. So this here was just a chicken thigh. I cooked this earlier tonight. I had kids running around and I was trying to get other dinners ready and whatnot. And I thought I'll stick some chicken thighs on, but I can't watch them. I don't want to risk having them raw, so I'll just overcook them like I usually do because I just don't have time to be checking them. But instead of doing that, I'm going to put my Meter Plus in and I'll actually cook them really nice. So I popped it in, I clicked well done, that's how I wanted them. And I let it handle it for me. So you can see here how it went, how it cooked, and then right up there as it reached its peak, it said, okay, it's done, take it off, give it a rest, and then it will be finished. So even with something like chicken thigh, you can really get a really, really accurate cook. This was our whole chicken from last week. You can see there, same thing, of how it went. And this was the green line there is the oven temperature. So you can see that my oven wasn't fully heated up when I first put it in. The first drop off there is when I opened the door to show everybody on the Zoom what the chicken was doing. It dropped the temperature dramatically and then it went right back up and then it cooked the chicken for the rest of it. So this is how accurate the Meter Plus is. It can really, really pick up on anything like that. If a bit of wind blows up on your barbecue, it'll pick that up as well. So super, super accurate. So that is how you go in and set up your Meter Plus. But over here, there is some really, really cool videos. I've picked one out here to show you guys. This one here. So this is about grilling a steak over direct and indirect heat. You don't have to cook it this way, but this is sort of recommended by Meter itself, is to actually sear your steak to begin with, and then take it back off the heat, insert your Meter Plus and cook it for the rest of the way. So if you really want melt in your mouth steak, this is how it's done. All right. Here we go. So you're going to season your steak to begin with, salt and pepper and oil on both sides, or whatever you like to season your steak with. And then you're popping it onto direct heat, only for like 1 to 2 minutes each side. And this is just to sear it, that's it. You're not trying to cook it. So really, really quickly, just sear the steak. And then you're going to insert that Meter Plus like I just showed you in the app. And then they're going to take it off the heat a little bit, go into the app like we just did, select how you would like it cooked. And you can see there that's dinging, that it's ready. We're going to take it off. It'll tell you how long to rest it. And then you're ready to go. You can see there, that is absolutely perfect. So no skill involved there. You don't have to be a genius with barbecuing or anything like that. You can be super, super distracted. You can have a few beers, whatever it might be. But you'll still be able to cook that steak really, really well. What do you guys think of that? Good. Is that a good enough example of the Meter Plus? Give you an idea of what it does? Let me know what you think. Even Leonie's husband can do it. Yeah, definitely, definitely. Don't need a Thermi for one. No, not at all. So the Meter is its own separate company, separate line, but Thermomix saw it last year and they thought this was really similar to Thermomix in that it is smart connected and it's hands-free cooking. It is for beginners that don't know what they're doing because it will take all that guesswork out, but also for those real foodies who want everything cooked to perfection, it's also going to suit them. So Thermomix could see that and they went, we need to pair with this company, and I think this would just be a really good pair with our Thermomix. So we joined up with them and we run from various times different bundles like this. You can also just jump on and purchase the Meter from the Mix Shop. I believe it's around $200 to purchase outright if you're wanting to get it that way as well. So the moment the barbecue bundle is the Meter Plus our Thermomix barbecue skewers and our barbecue cookbook. So that is, it's like, I think about could even be close to $300 value in that bundle, and that's a $49 extra when you purchase a TM6. So yeah, if you're looking to go that way, it is a really, really good opportunity to get yourself the best of both worlds and have that Meter Plus for summertime. All right, a fabulous tool for no-look cook. Oh, definitely. And don't pull it out with your fingers. No, definitely don't pull it out with your fingers. That Meter probe is really, really hot. Don't be afraid to just leave it for a minute. You don't have to pull it out instantly either. You can just leave it for a second, let your meat rest for as long as it needs to, and then pull it out when you're ready, and use tongs if you need to, or a tea towel or whatever. All right, that is the Meter Plus. That's our first two dishes. Now, Tennille, are you ready? Tennille has prepared for us a salad, but she has been very, very clever with this, and she's actually pre-done this salad and recorded it all. She's going to show us and talk us through what she has done.
Yes, I'm ready.
I'm going to pop you up on the big screen. And
okay. Thanks, Jo. All righty. Well, I'm going to share my screen so I can get my video up, and then I can have a bit of a chat about what we're doing. Let me get that going. Got my screen sharing. All righty. So let's get here we go. So can everyone see that on the screen? If you can answer me, Jo.
Yes, perfect.
Okay, great. Yes, so we're doing, or I did, the red pesto chicken salad. Now this is from, this is a Skinny Mix's recipe. So for anyone that knows Nicolene Riddle's recipes, anything she does is just amazing because she just tests the flavors so much. She really tries to pack as much flavor as she can into her recipes. Now, I hadn't made this salad for a long time, and after making it the other day, I was really kicking myself for not having made it sooner because it really is a beautiful salad. It is in the Healthy Mix series, and it's in book 3. However, the reason I did this one is because she has also got a couple of collections on Cookie Do. So this is from the Skinny Mix's classic collection. So I'm going to start the video and I'll pause after the ingredients to have a little bit of a chat about that as well. So there's no audio, there's just text. And on cue is my daughter Amelia coming in to pester me. Darling, I'm just doing a quick talk. No, I'm doing a quick talk.
It isn't turning off.
Can you go ask Daddy, please?
Oh, no.
Sorry, guys. Okay, I'll talk you through the daughter's movie back on. So I'm pausing the video because I just wanted to chat to you about ingredients. So you can see on that ingredients list, this is for the pesto. Now, they're all really simple ingredients. And if you've been using your Thermomix for a while, you'll probably find that you have most of these on hand. The only thing I had to go to the shops for was the basil, and I had run out of sun-dried tomatoes and the capsicum. So they are the only ingredients that I didn't really have. But yeah, if you look at that list, sorry guys, perfect timing. My daughter left me alone for the entire Zoom, and now when it's my turn to talk, she wants me to tend to her. Okay, sorry, back to it. So the point that I was getting at about the pesto is that most of these items you'll have on hand, which is really awesome. The other thing I wanted to point out is that Nicolene is really great for substitutes. So she's all about, you know, everyday cooking, but also making substitutes to her recipes so that it can accommodate for people that are dairy free, low carb, or if you're going for your super skinny options. So these can be found in the tips section of the recipe. So I'll show you that at the very end, but we'll press on so you can see the rest of the video. So yes, in 20 seconds, hey presto, we have pesto. Don't wash the bowl. I love that one. So I'm going to pause it here as well. I just want to point out, so now that you've made your pesto, which whilst it was a lot of ingredients, since you'll have most of them on hand, once you've chucked this in the bowl, that's it. 20 seconds later, you've got your pesto ready to go. Now the rest of this salad then is just your baby red potatoes cut into thin, well, sort of 1 centimetre coins. You've got diced chicken breasts, you've got baby spinach and the pesto. That's all that's in this salad at the base level. And those ingredients on their own taste amazing, but you could chuck whatever you want in at the end, and I'll talk about that too. So this is where your multi-level cooking comes into play. You're going to use your Varoma to cook that chicken, whilst at the same time steaming your potatoes. And remember, we didn't have to wash the bowl, winning. So potatoes go in. Now Varoma goes on top. I'm going to pause it there again. Whoop. Okay, I'll let that play. I'll chat about that at the end. So going in for a second cook now. So we've just stirred the chicken, and when it's cooked, you put that aside. And basically now we're at the arranging your salad point. So sorry, that last bit probably went a little bit quick. So what I was trying to get at was, it is a very quick cook. It's only 17 to 20 minutes all up once you've got your ingredients ready. It stops the chicken after 10 minutes to give it a quick stir. Mine hardly looked cooked at all, and I thought, wow, really, is this going to be done in 7 minutes? After the second cook, that second 7 minutes, I had a look, and mine had a couple of tiny bits of pink still there. So I continued my cook for 3 more minutes, and the chicken was perfectly fine at the end. So basically 20 minutes all up, you've got your potatoes steamed, your chicken steamed, You can either serve this as a warm salad, so you add it to your baby spinach straight away and stir it all through. But for mine, I did actually leave mine to cool completely because I didn't want the baby spinach to wilt, as I wasn't going to be eating it straight away. And that's basically your really quick 20-minute salad. Super, super tasty. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to pop back to Cookie Doo so I can show you the variations. So these are the tips and tricks. So she's got, you can replace your macadamias with cashews, pine nuts or sunflower seeds. You've got dairy-free options, so you can opt out that Parmesan cheese and replace it with yogurt or mayonnaise. You can swap out baby red potatoes, use your sweet potato. You can make it feed more people, like extra spinach to bulk it out. You've got low carb versions, so replacing potatoes with your cauliflower, capsicum or Kent. It just says there though that you might need to adjust your cook time. And at the end, you can sprinkle it with more macadamias, or you could do toasted pine nuts, sprinkle a bit of feta, even throw in a few more Kalamata olives on the top. But really that salad, just as is absolutely beautiful. So I think that's all I've got to say with that salad. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Obviously, there's a few things in the chat there. Oh wow, there's lots of stuff on here.
It's mostly just about people getting interrupted.
Yeah, well, actually, the funny thing was, leading up to you asking me, Joe, to come on, one of my friends she was trying to get onto the Zoom tonight, and I don't know what was going on from her end, but I was messaging her madly, trying to help her out, thinking, please don't ask me to start yet, Joe. And then, yeah, the second I start, Amelia comes in. I thought, oh, for God's sake. But anyway, we got there. Yeah, Ashley, definitely try the salad. It's amazing. It's really lovely. I even had it today because I made it yesterday, and I had it today for lunch and I reheated it, and it just has beautiful flavors.
Awesome. Thank you so much for doing that. And I love your video skills. You're so good at putting videos together and presenting them. So thank you so much.
Thanks,
That's
Jo.
one I've had pinned to cook, so I'm gonna have to jump in and cook now. Alrighty. So last thing before we finish up is our dip. So like the coleslaw, I think that coleslaw is made for barbecues. It's what makes a barbecue. What about dip and nibbles? Do any of you guys do that at barbecues, or is that just something that I do? Who likes a good dip and nibbles? Yes, totally. Awesome. Anybody else? Or is it just me and Carissa? Beetroot dip. Nice. Yes. Okay. Awesome. Now, if you, and a dip and a cheese platter. Ah, yes, you're talking my language. That sounds like perfect. And now, if you go into Coles or Woolies, in your cold section, you can, or Cobbler, don't distract me. In the cold section, there is always pre-made dips. And you can pick yourself up a beetroot, a hummus, a cream cheese, whatever you want, for a couple of dollars for a tub of it. But have you ever looked on the back of one of those packet dips to see what's in them? I ask you, if you haven't done it before, do it next time you're at the shops and have a look at some of the ingredients. Something like a basic avocado dip or a basic hummus will have like 20-something ingredients. There are so many artificial flavors, fillers, additives, always just random ingredients, a bunch of numbers and things that you don't know what they are, added into something really basic like a dip. Obviously, to make it taste good and last long, that, you know, so it's gonna last on a shelf. And barely anything that you expect. Yes, 100%. You think hummus, all you need is chickpeas for hummus, like, and 2 other ingredients. No, there'll be so many, and not even that many chickpeas. So making your own dips is something that I am really, really passionate about. When I first got a Thermomix, it was something that I was like, I'm never going to buy a dip again. Prior to a Thermomix, I still made them by hand, but they were just always a massive job to do. So having a Thermomix, I went, no, I'm never ever buying a packet dip again. And if we have barbecues, have people here, I'm always making dips. And if we need to take nibbles somewhere, or I'm sort of the known person for taking dips and nibbles now, so someone will say, Jo, can you do the dips and nibbles? Because, you know, you just do them so easy. So really, honestly, if you're not making your own dips at the moment, please start making them. Type dips into Cookie Doo and have a look at all the stuff in there. There's so many. But this one is out of the barbecue cookbook, which is part of the bundle, and it is flipping amazing. Has anybody made this? It is called get the full name of it, Zingy Avocado and Lime Dip from the barbecue collection. And whether you know this recipe or not, what would you usually put in an avocado dip? I want your input here. People do avocado dip. It's so common, but there's such a variation between different people. What would you put in? If you're making an avocado dip at home, what would you throw in? Pop it into the comments. Sweet chili sauce, garlic, lemon, avo, lemon or lime juice, cream cheese, avo, lime, garlic. Yeah, awesome. Avocado, lime juice, salt and pepper, fresh coriander, sometimes a little red onion. Nice. Nothing because we don't eat avocado. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. Avocado, red onion, garlic. Okay, there's lots of different variations coming through. Does anybody add lettuce to the avocado dip? Haven't seen anything yet. Have any of you ever added cos lettuce to your avocado? No, you haven't. Well, you're about to see what it does. So we're going to start this zingy avocado dip. First thing we're going to do is grate some Parmesan cheese, cut into about 3 centimeter pieces. Now, good old COVID style, I only have one little chunk of Parmesan left, and I think this is like a cheddar or something, but it'll do. So I'm going to pop those in there. Need a measuring cup and a lid. A measuring cup on. And I'm going to grate this cheese. This will be a little bit noisy. 10 seconds. Done. Now you can add in 2 jalapeno chilies. I don't want it that hot because I want my kids and everyone to eat it. But if you really want this to be a big zingy dip, go and add your chilies in now. You can see that's our cheese, absolutely whizzed up. I'm going to leave those chilies out. Now, fresh coriander. A few of you said that you like to use coriander, and that's absolutely fine. We're not big coriander fans and currently don't have any fresh herbs growing in the garden at all. I'm just going to use a little bit of dried parsley, but a fresh herb in here, even if it's a basil or something else, parsley, whatever, put that in. But otherwise, you can throw in your coriander. 2 spring onions. Again, I'm going to leave the spring onion out. And a garlic clove. I will throw the garlic in. So absolutely make this to suit you. Pop your lid on. I'm going to give that a quick chop up for 2 seconds. Beautiful. What that's going to do is mince down that garlic, and I'm just going to give that a little scrape down the sides now. Make sure that's all incorporated. So now we have like a cheesy, garlic, herby base. And now we get into the fun stuff. Now we're going to add in 4 cos lettuce leaves. I have my cos lettuce leaves here. Actually, mine is iceberg lettuce. It's not even cos lettuce. So there you go. Iceberg lettuce. And these are a little bit bigger than what your cos lettuce leaves would be. But I'm going to throw in 1, about 2, 3, 4. Now, 1 lime zested with no white pit. And I'm going to use a little bit of lemon instead. Again, because it's what I have on hand. I'm not going to the shop to buy a lime to make a dip. Now, 1 avocado ripe. Mine's got a little bit brown sitting on the bench. That's our avocado in. 70 grams of mayonnaise. So this is where my mayonnaise comes into play that I made earlier. 70 grams of mayo. And you could do the same thing here. If you would rather cream cheese, if you'd rather Greek yogurt or something else, add it in here. It doesn't have to be mayonnaise. But the mayonnaise is really cool, especially if you've made it yourself. Pop in a little bit of salt. And stick the lid on. It's going to go around at speed 6 for 20 seconds. That's a really cool tip about the avocado, Andrew. I didn't know that. I put the seed in the top of the dip. When it goes into the fridge, it won't go brown. I did not know that. And that is our dip done. I'm going to scrape it down the side. Now remember, if you've used fresh coriander in this, it's going to go a little bit more green than what this one is, so that fresh herbs really make it darker. And you could always add in extra avocado or just adjust any of these flavors depending on the color and exactly how you want it to be. But what I love is this takes one avocado. We all know avocados can be really expensive. It takes one avocado and you end up with, well, that's my 500 ml mark down there. So 500 mils worth of dip, which is really, really cool. And you guys can't taste it, which is a shame. But this is like supercharged avocado dip. It is creamy, it's rich, but it's also got like a zing in there from the garlic and the lemon. It is absolutely delicious. And the cheese in there just has a really nice flavor. So definitely give this one a go. It is an absolute great one to do at barbecues, to do anytime, but barbecues, this is absolutely fantastic. And please, if you're someone who's usually buying dips, make your own. Don't keep buying dips. They're so easy. Have a search on Cookie Do of dips that you would usually buy and jump in there and do them. You'll be really surprised. They are just so easy to do. All right. So that is our barbecue and salads Zoom. So we've made mayo, twisted coleslaw. We've had a look at what the meter can do. We've seen the pesto chicken salad, and now we've just seen the avocado dip. And you can make your own crackers too. They're so easy. Definitely. And there's a cashew one on Cookie Do. Yes, and avos are cheap at the moment too. Yeah, that's why I picked it. Awesome. Well, how are you feeling now? To begin with, you guys all loved barbecues. There was a couple of people that felt they were a lot of work. How are you feeling now? Is there any dishes there that you'd like to try? Have I inspired you at all? Is there anything that you found helpful? I'd love to hear in the chat before you all jump off. What did you think? Did you take anything away from this? Need to get the cookbook? Yes. Or get a Cookie Do subscription, Mandy, and then for the same price what you're going to pay for one book, you're going to get everything on Cookie Do. All right, what have we got? Okay, awesome. Yes, I think we're all waiting for a super big family barbecue. I think we're all hanging out for that. Oh, awesome. Okay. Well, I'm stoked that we could give you a little bit of inspiration. That's absolutely fantastic. Now, we're running something every week. So next week we have a Zoom. We have another one the week after. If you jump onto our link tree, and I'm guessing most of you guys have jumped on from that tonight anyway, so you should all have it. If not, ask your consultant for it. All of our Zooms are listed on there. So just book into what ones you would like. And I really encourage you to invite a friend or two along. If you have found that it's inspired you or taught you something new, share that with your friends. If you know someone else who has a Thermi, or someone who doesn't have a Thermi that maybe struggles with cooking, or is really unorganized around barbecues, whatever it might be, encourage them to jump on as well. There's no selling or anything like that. We don't care whether you have Thermix or not. we just want to inspire, teach, and help you guys to get a little bit more out of your time in the kitchen. So if you can invite people along, that helps us out hugely. And you can pick up your host rewards as well if you're looking to get yourself a thermoserver or some mats or whatever that might be there too. All right. Well, a super big thank you to Tennille for making that video and jumping on and presenting tonight. And another big thank you to all of the other consultants helping out in the chat box there. We can't run these without you. So thank you so much for doing that, girls. And for all of you guys who jumped on and joined, thank you all for being on here. I hope that you have learned a little bit and you are ready to jump out there into the spring barbecue season, even if it might just be your household for the moment. Fingers crossed that we can celebrate in a bit bigger time very shortly. Thank you guys all for joining us, and we should see you all again soon. Bye.